Yes, I see. Kubica tells me that in standard Polish club, one club, one no trump can be passed because although one no trump shows a positive, it is also limited at the top end.
It looks like he just takes his tricks. He doesn't know anything about the club position, of course, so he didn't want to duck a diamond in case they were able to take too many club tricks. Is there a layout where they can take 4 club tricks? There probably is. I haven't checked, but there probably is, and that's why he just cashes out. Is there a layout? Let's see. The layout, they can take 4 club tricks. I mean, if you duck it up to north.
Well, yes, if South has got King Jack 10 to 4 or Ace Jack 10 to 4,
Yeah,
North can go 1 at the back.
that's right. So, the 3-way 1 club again. May have to jump to 2 spades now. Unless 1 spade is forcing, of course.
Well, if he has a weak no trump type, doesn't he have to rebid one of the major on possibly even on a 3-card suit? Because the 1 no trump rebid is 18 plus.
Correct. Absolutely right. But it's still force. It's a 1-round force. It's a bit spade.
It's a 1-round force, I see. Well, often ending in 1 no trump by the other guy then.
Correct. I think he had the option of jumping to 2 spades, but he decided to just bid game opposite 0 to 8. I would need a club on this auction. I mean, I'm not going to touch the red suits. A trump, so for me it's the 10 of clubs.
Absolutely. Still, he can't afford to lead 1 trump, suppose, as he's got a triple guard on the queen. I would certainly avoid a club. And again, it looks fairly okay for the declarer. No, and he can just do. Maybe he wants to play all the trumps out. So you want to do that, so the clubs will be good. Maybe not. North has no entry to lead a heart through, putting declarer to a guess, and going to be some discards coming up on his minor suits.
But it may not be safe. Here it is, king of spades and another spade.
So, see, two more tricks in his hand, looking for some way to make a fourth. Club seems like a good idea, might possibly fire off from dummy, or I suppose it's just possible, or I might have the ace of clubs that would vanish on the diamonds.
So 10 tricks. I expect them to get to the same contract in the other room. 7 imps to Vytas on board 2. 3 diamonds plus 2.
It's a very quiet opening to the match. The first 5 boards, there have been no opportunities in the card play at all, and the bidding swing was just really due to system, whether you were going to open a spade or a no trump on the east cards. So I can't really fault Rogaland and Lindqvist for that. Just forwards are close to a non-event. Now, I don't believe Zia is in the mad crowd who would open the south cards even at favourable. 9 losers. 2 jacks and the queen of spades, very weak cards, unsupported. 4 triple 3 shape. So what shall I do if my prediction's wrong and Zia does open? What can I promise to eat? I think I'll promise to finish my cup of coffee if he opens. Best offer I can make.
Well, you can eat my Australian sun hat.
Cost quite a lot to post that over. Charged by size nowadays. He's passed, hooray. Well bid indeed, sir.
So 1 club now, the week, no trump. And 1 diamond. Do you think Zia will get in with 1 heart? Oh. Academic, because neck doubled. Not clear. Opposite a past partner. Well, the thing is that Sia will give it one more try. Yeah, racing 2 to 3. Mech will pass, of course, but is 3 hearts too high? You have 2 heart
Well, if
losers.
it is,
And, well,
it's not Zia's fault anyway, because that was a sort of fairly borderline double for triple three shape and only four cards to the 10. In any case, most players would play that 2 hearts was forcing to suit agreement. You look in really ancient textbooks. I've got hundreds of old bridge books going back to when the game started. They used to play 2 clubs as game forcing. I mean, they played so many bids in a way that we would regard as ridiculous nowadays.
the 2 clubs could never be game forcing by a pass stand.
Yes, okay, it's a passed hand here, but in general, it's just the same. I mean, say the bidding is natural. It begins a club, a heart, a spade, and they raised 3 spades. Well, I mean, I've always played that as a limit bid, but I mean, see in old American magazines that a lot of these jumps to the 3 level were forcing, and well, even 1 spade, 3 spades was forcing. The arrival of Jacoby, and that's rather amazing. I mean, what on earth did they do if they had card support and the limit raise?
They probably underbid 2 spades. Wide-ranging 2 spades, David.
Quicker or slow 2 spades?
Indeed. Right, now this doesn't look good for Mech. If he hadn't doubled, what would the country have been? Let's see, it will go 1 club pass, 1 diamond from east. Well, Sia might bid 1 heart now. But if he doesn't, then west will bid 1 heart. Could still be the weak no trump, east will bid a spade, and west will bid a no trump. So the alternative would be 1 no trump played by west.
Well, he surely would get a heart lead against that.
Yes, especially because 1 heart can be 3 cards. Yes, and Mech wouldn't have anything else to lead. I agree. He wouldn't lead a spade.
So the clubs lie okay, so you can guess that he might go 1 down, or thank heavens we don't have to find out.
Phew. Another happy situation for Mextros. Best he can do, actually, is to lead a low spade to his king and duck a spade to west's ace.
see that a spade lead would assist declarer, so would a club lead. The diamond looks the safest of them all, but in fact even that cost because he was leading away from the 10 into the ace-queen 9. So that's a warning of how leading away from honours is quite possible to cost a trick, and costs on average about half a trick every time you try it. Why you might prefer to make passive leads elsewhere. Of course the singleton trump's not very inviting either, so he was a bit stuck. But I think in general there's probably a lot more going for passive leads than people think.
Hemel South opened a weak no trump in the other semi-final, passed out. I think it's 12-14, it could be 11-14. Non-vulnerable, very poor 11 count. What was, oops, wasn't it down 2? Yeah, down 2. I think it was, yeah, wrong claim. -2 will be correct. And has been now.
If one no trump was passed out, then it must be a mini, mustn't it? I mean, North had a pretty good 12 count.
Yeah, it could perhaps even be a mini. Ha! That's a good question. I'll pass it on to David. Do they have interpreters at these top-level games? It seems unfair to expect everyone to be able to speak English.
Pretty unfair if you had to provide £10,000 worth of interpreters for 4 days as well.
Yeah, I'd just like to add that English is the international bridge language, so people are supposed to know just a little bit of English. They don't have to be fluent.
You could say it would be unfair to their opponents if they didn't speak English and couldn't explain their bits. They'd have quite a big advantage then. So they've got 8 tricks on top and every chance of the diamond finesse succeeding for a 9th trick, but it wouldn't have done.
Yeah, you're right. 3 times would not have made on the hard lead. It would go a heart to the 10. Seer would have to win the first heart, and he doesn't have enough tricks. 5 clubs, a heart, 6, and 2 aces, 8. How about 5 diamonds? 5 diamonds, you have a heart loser, a diamond looser, and the question is, can you get your spade looser away in time? Certainly not if it goes a heart to the ace and a spade switch. It is true, of course, that West would also need a club to give partner a ruff, but he won't. So 5 diamonds should go down, but Sia thinking 6. And also declare anyway. So a club lead is impossible.
No, but he may strike the spade lead from that side.
Yeah. So even 5 diamonds would have been down on the spade lead it would have got. And 6 diamonds is of course hopeless. I think see a bit a lot here, David.
Well, it depends in their system how far forcing 2 hearts is. See, it looks like Maxroth wasn't sure that he definitely was agreeing diamonds, or else he would have signed off in diamonds. And once he bid 3 clubs, I don't think that limited his hand at all. One can assume 3 diamonds after 2 hearts must be forcing, as North went to force.
Goodness me. You can't be serious. 7 diamonds. Well, maybe it's good to see for the less experienced bridge player how accidents happen even at this level. And when they do happen, they are serious accidents. Here they are in the Grand Slam, off a cashing ace, off the King of Diamonds.
Well, maybe Seer intended 4 hearts as kick back Blackwood. Well, it's not a question of over-trusting 4 diamonds, is it? I mean, either 3 diamonds is forcing or it isn't. If it isn't, North obviously would pass.
I'm asked no double? No. Who do you think should double? East can't be sure that his ace of hearts will be cashing. And West can't be sure that he has the trump trick. So no one has a double.
East, if South was declarer, saying that he wanted a ruff, and then it would be pretty easy for West to find the club lead. Well, there you go, you see. They are saying that 4 hearts was a kickback Roman key card, or Maxroth read it as that. Well, no, he didn't. He didn't read it as that, no. It was intended as kickback Roman key card. Maxroth didn't read it as that and signed off, and that showed 2 key cards and Queen of Trumps.
Now that was extremely interesting. Board 5 in the other room. Remember, where East made 4 spades in this room. Now South found the lead of a club. The 10 of clubs. Declarer won with the ace in his hand and played ace, king and another spade. And now he was down because South could continue clubs while he still had a trump. So the clubs didn't come in for enough tricks. So 10 more imps to Vytas. So very good lead there by South. Declarer's error in the other room, as the cards lie, was that he played a third round of trumps. After cashing ace-king of spades, he should exit with his singles and king of diamonds. Then he would have made it.
Who is East at the other table?
Lindquist is always East. Rogaland West. Yeah.
So they can be happy that it's a 60 board match. That's a very minimum hand for one trump by West there, because when your partner overcalls at the 1 level, then you don't want to really bid more than one no trump on 12 or 13 points. You can't respond even to a vulnerable overcall in the same way as you would to an opening bid, so something like an 11 count, it would be fairly ridiculous to bid 2 no trumps natural, and that's exactly why, well, most people play that as a Jacoby raise even with an overcall showing 4 trumps.
I agree with you. I was going to say exactly the same. That one no trump as a dancer is constructive and should show more than Yassam has. It's not an escape from one spade, because if you have a weakish hand, you just pass one spade. However, I think they can make game. Yeah, 5 diamonds.
Well,
maybe
spades
even
looks
4
okay.
spades. Yeah.
2 trumps and a heart. Makes you wonder if Yassem had passed. I'm not saying it's right to pass. But if he had passed, I don't know, Nextroth might have let it go. It's only got 2 spades. No, probably would have doubled.
Do you think CS double of 2 hearts was don't lead a heart partner? Double. Could be.
Well, it's not his right to say anything much. And he got a jack and a queen to be led up to instead. No idea, he's probably just being Zia. Can't imagine anyone else would speak on it. I mean, if you're going to say anything and you're not near it in any way, you would bid 2 hearts over a spade then. That would be a very poor bid, as both the honour cards are likely to be useless. Yes, okay, well, that's better expression of the meaning, just to say he doesn't have a top honour, yes. Well, that's fair enough if they play that, that's quite useful. Well, not particularly useful here, of course, because Zia's on lead against 4 spades. Oh, I see. I think 4 spades is a cubit with diamonds. Very. It's usually a suggestion to play, isn't it, when that's your main suit?
I like it to be, because if you want to play diamonds, you just raise 4 to 5. So I think 4 spades should show a good 6 card suit.
Yes, well, the view graph operator says that the double asks for a heart lead. Well, that's very interesting.
Well, it is.
Yeah, because he's got 3 cards, and he's not just that he's got 3 cards, but he hasn't got anything else worth searching for. That's very unusual.
I'm pretty sure that Jason takes this as natural. He's just thinking, well, could 5 diamonds be better than 4 spades? He doesn't take it as a cubit for diamonds.
No. And he has a close decision, because normally 4 spades is the sort of bid which is hoping for a low doubleton, so with single 10 it's a close decision.
Yes, the single 10 could be quite useful opposite king, queen, jack to 6.
Possibly he's thinking that declarer will need to set up the spades anyway to link 5 diamonds, so he would need a reasonable suit. So we can see that can't really be any problem in either game, is that right? Would have been a problem if diamonds were 4-1.
Yeah, you're still okay even if horse is able to overruff the 3rd spade.
Doesn't seem the sort of bidding problem where you're going to get any more accurate an answer by thinking for another 30 seconds, for another minute, for another 2 minutes. Must have come across the situation so many times before.
So 5 more imps to the Vytas on board number 6. 23-0 at the moment, and now comes the Grand Slam hand. I don't think they'll reach Grand Slam in the other room.
Game was on, was it?
Well, was it? I didn't analyse game, David. Maybe it was. Maybe you're down in most anything on the lie.
No, we said spade lead would certainly be effective. They're just so lucky, aren't they? They did a Grand Slam and then they find that the game's going to go down. Although he made 11 tricks.
Exactly. Yeah,
They're
but he wouldn't
they're
have.
playing it the other way up, maybe.
On the spade lead, I mean, as we said, five diamonds would have gone down. Indeed.
Well, I think with only a 4-4 fit, it's possible they'll end in 3 no trumps. So pretty lucky that goes down.
So I'm told there aren't 5 diamonds in the other room. Down 1 on the spade lead. So how lucky is that? Losing 3 imps only, David. We're getting to a Grand Slam.
They can console themselves with the current score. Well, this one at any rate looks to be fairly easy. So I'm going to go and refill my water glass. Be back in a moment.
Oh, 5 diamonds was premature in the other room because the auction is still on. So that comment from a kibitzer was probably if they get to 5 diamonds, then they would go 1 down on the spade lead if Norse is declarer, and then it would be a 3 imp swing only. He's okay. He can afford that Norse roughs this, and if he doesn't, he will rough a spade, and same result, 11 tricks. East West have been flawless at this table so far. Haven't made any mistakes.
Right, see if West fancies his rather strange hand. No jacks, 10s or 9s if he fancies a 1 no trump over a heart. Some people would. Even seen people open a strong no trump on the south cards because the rebid is not particularly comfortable after a heart of spade.
No, it's worth 2.5 hearts. I think most people would jump to 3 hearts.
Yes, I think it's worth 3 hearts, but the point is that you've got the cards like 3 no trust. Anyway, I look at my heart every day.
Every day. Now, would you get in with 1 no trump opposite a pass partner, or would you pass? Or would you double? I mean, double is also an option.
Well, I don't think it makes any difference whether partners are passed hand. Can you express why you think it makes a difference, really? The same with that mixed trough take out double. I don't really understand why it makes a difference.
Well, with just a single stopper in hearts, maybe it's better to double than to overcall 1 no trump, David.
Yes, I can understand that. But I mean, when we were deciding whether to double on the mixed trough cards, didn't see it made much difference if partners are passed hand or not. If he's got an opening bid, then you're okay either way.
So the auction is over now on the Grand Slam hand. And the contract is 3 no trumps in the other room on a heart lead, played by South. And that contract is doomed, so it will go 1 down, at least. So heart to the 10, South will have to win with the king right away, and then he has 8 tricks and no more.
Well, I'm wondering, I mean, he's got to take the diamond finesse, hasn't he, to try and make it, and then he may lose a lot of hearts. So Zia may gain on the board.
Exactly right. I mean, he could cash out for 8 tricks, but if he takes the diamond finesse, then he will go more down. That's true.
Well, it's only 2 down, isn't it? He loses a diamond and 5 hearts, so is he getting a flat board for 7 diamonds? Well, it looks like 5 diamonds is no better than 3 no trumps on board. So both depend on the same thing, really.
So do you think just another boring flat board? 3 no trumps down 2, 7 diamonds down 2. Okay, here's a question from a spectator. How do we know the rest of the play last hand? And I replied in writing, we don't, but it didn't matter. The contract would make at that point. Then I got, well, he said, the operator said that Zia was puzzled about sequence, so the audience is also puzzled about sequence. I think I said at the time, when he played the king of spades, that Maxwell could decide to rough it. Fine. If he did, declarer would have the rest because he would have one more trump in dummy to ruff a spade, and all spades would be good. And if he didn't ruff the king of spades, then declarer would still ruff a spade. With the last trump in dummy, the spades would be high, and Norse would only get a trump trick. So it puzzles me that it puzzled Sear, I mean the line, when East had to explain how he was going to make it. Yeah, they're too high here. And I think he hasn't bid too much here. Why would he volunteer 3 diamonds, 3 low diamonds?
It's very ugly getting to 4 diamonds. And East, you can see, well, he's saying I might have had to bid 2 diamonds on nothing, so maybe there's a game on when I've got an 8 count.
Yeah, and one of Trump would have solved that problem, David. It was because of the double. Then West thought, well, there might still be a game on for us. I don't think you think there is. When you have 3 low diamonds, 16 flat 16 count, and partner didn't jump to 3 diamonds. He bid 2 diamonds.
Yes, another way to look at the overbidding is that when someone's opened against you in a major and rebids you and is going to have side entries with it, you need a lot more than normal to make 3 no trumps, because when you don't have anything special in hearts yourself, they're going to knock it out, and you've got to have 9 ready to run. So neither hand really was sufficient to overcome that deficiency. I think Yaston should have passed 2 hearts and then he's come again. Even say he bid 3 diamonds, I mean he might double instead, but still Yaston is not entitled to say, well, I got 16 on this because he's only got 3 low diamonds. Diamonds can't be ready to go. The king queen of clubs are going to be much too slow once the hearts are set up. Right, well, the boards have not been particularly inspiring so far. I think the great dealer is a bit weary after his wonderful efforts late yesterday.
Asked, would 1-0 trump by East instead of 2 diamonds have solved the problem? The thing is that East can't bid a 1-0 trump. He doesn't have a heart stopper. So 2 diamonds was just normal.
If he bid 1 no trump, then he might get 2 no trumps from West anyway, possibly.
Do we know if double of 1-0 trump is artificial or hand?
Well, I've got the North-South convention card up on my screen. They are playing a 15-17 no trump.
Is that a one-note opener, one-note trump opener in your world, Roland? I'm asked. No? I would have opened a diamond. Aha, so the double could well be 4 of the major, longer minor, and not a penalty of the no trump. North-South can make what, 4 diamonds? Club, a diamond and a heart to lose? Yes, 4 diamonds. Well, they will still find that diamond fit now, after 2 no trumps. Do we know what 2 no trump shows? We don't, but we assume both minors.
Pretty risky bid, isn't it, on 5-4-2-2 and the 5 count? I think he's just done it abstractedly, not really worried about that he's taking a risk on his own cards.
Can East-West make 4 spades, I'm asked? I haven't analysed 4 spades. Well, I think they can. Yeah, they can. Can't they? Yeah. Why not? Well, I think they can defeat it on a hard lead, then they can get a hard rub. Yeah, that's right. Now 3 no trumps. Well, let's see. That will go several down. East will of course not find the best lead, the ace of clubs. If he leaves the queen of spades, it's on its way.
4 spades on a heart lead. Declarer could put up the ace and South would have to unblock the king. It's all pretty unlucky.
So did he really take 2 no trumps as natural? I don't think Mac did, actually. He just gambled.
Well,
so how can 2 no trumps be natural? But it can, well, I don't know.
Well, I don't think he took it as natural. Perhaps it was just a transfer to diamonds and he thought the diamond suit would run.
Well, I'm told now that Mac said it was invitational.
Well, that's not so good, is it? You remember I asked you yesterday, you thought Maxroth and Dio were a sort of truly world-class pair, and you said, well, they weren't a regular partnership. So I think we've seen a couple hands here, the 7 diamonds and the 3 no trumps, which show that they are indeed not such a well-honed partnership as Maxroth and Rodwell as far as the bidding goes. Both absolutely brilliant players, of course, as far as the cards go.
Danger here. if West inserts the jack, because if he does, the contra cannot be defeated anymore. Now,
Well, it's
do
good
not
sign
know
for him
Trump's.
that he's thinking about it.
Do know Trump was natural. I mean, from next point of view, remember the double was not a penalty double. It showed 4 on the major and a longer minor. And then you could still play 2 no trumps as invitational.
Yes. Let's say that it's a very fine defence by Yasem not to play his jack anyway. Well done. Pretty automatic for an expert player to put in the ace of clubs, but I can imagine a lot of club players would be there with third hand high.
So excellent save against 3 spades. Good. 12. And here we have a real slam. We have a real grand slam. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, well, maybe in spades. Not in hearts, and that is very unlucky. And you can't make a grand slam in hearts. It's a 68% grand slam in hearts. Maybe 7 no trumps is the best grand slam, David? Because even if hearts don't come in 7 no trumps, you still have chances. And it will make as the cards lie.
If one of them comes in, you've got 6 plus 3 is 9. You've got 12 top tricks, yes. And the diamond finesse in reserve, or possibly some chances in the game.
And now I'm asked on this scoring, should you bid a 68% grand slam or stop in 6? Well, 68% is good enough for a grand slam, if you expect the opponents to be in a small slam in the other room, but obviously not if you think they're in game.
I don't expect they'll bid a grand slam here, really. Now West has to choose between 3 no trumps with the King Jack X, possibly 3 hearts on the doubleton as he didn't raise it before, and possibly 3 spades, so it's quite a good problem for a bidding panel.
Zia sounds a bit grumpy, David.
Yes, well, we're
He's
very
not a
much
happy
obliged to our friend Gregoire Amal for telling us what Zia is saying. Many thanks to him, he's a really fine operator. Right, West has decided to bid the spades again, and I don't think he needed to rush into 3 no trumps because he's got a fairly good hand if his partner happens to be strong.
Well, 4 diamonds should be a cubit for spades.
Yes. And now West has the option to run this back to East, and he can redouble it with first round control, because that might be a singleton having bid hearts and clubs and some now supporting the spades. So West should definitely pass. There's no excuse for not doing it really. You pass and your partner redoubles. It takes up no more space. That's the way to bid. I'm sure he'll do eventually.
Yeah, it depends on the methods, really, because pass may deny a second round control in diamonds if West does that. Some play that, and that you only bid if you don't have a second round control.
Well, don't like that too much. Might have the king opposite the singleton here.
If you trust the double, all of a sudden 7 no trumps becomes a good contract, David. I mean, then the diamond finesse is working, isn't it?
Gosh, he passed and East then bid Blackwood. Yes, I see.
Yeah, I think pass shows a second round control in diamonds. They may play that. I used to play it.
Well, he doesn't care, does he? Because he's looking at a whole lot of tricks in hearts, both the aces, and he finds our partner's got ace, king, queen of spades. He should be in control. That's right. His partner's shown just long spades, and East has all the rest of the data in front of his eyes. Now,
I think it would be 7 spades.
Yeah, he can see a grand if partner has the jack or 7 of them. But on the other hand, with ace, king, queen to 7, he might not have bid this way. See, he might be thinking about 7 trumps, as you mentioned, if he thinks just one of the long suits is coming in and he knows about the king of diamonds. Oh, he doesn't know about the king of diamonds, sorry, no.
This is a Grand Slam try. We have everything, partner.
Well, he's hoping partner will have a look to see whether he's got the jack of spades. So basically it's a pretty fabulous auction really. If West signs off in 6 spades because he doesn't have the jack, fair enough.
Well, over 3 spades. Some kibitzers don't like 4 diamonds, the cubit for spades. But what was he supposed to do? Over 3 spades.
4 diamonds is obviously right. I mean, he's only at that stage looking for a small slam. It's reasonable to expect that West has got 1 loose of spades at worst, and then it's be fine. I don't see what else he can bid. 4 diamonds was absolutely perfect.
I liked it at the time. I still like it. Yeah, when partner bid spades 3 times, when over 3 clubs could bid many other things but 3 spades. So I like 4 diamonds. I really do.
Anyone who doesn't like it, which I don't agree with, has also got to say what they're going to bid instead. Because
4 hearts, let's say, that's a slam.
4 hearts? Gosh, 4 hearts will be passed out. 4 diamonds would be a unanimous vote on an expert bidding panel, I imagine.
But the one who sent me that message, David, is an expert. He even played for England.
I see, yes. Is that the guy who's been sending me messages, yeah? What, he was going to sign off in 4 hearts? Wow. Perhaps he doesn't play for England anymore.
Yeah, 4 diamonds is a cubit agreeing spades. Now he can't bid. Hesitation, 2 minutes,
right.
6 spades, pass.
Well, that's absolutely fine. They had a really good look at it. They knew what they were doing all the way along the line. They had no arm bid to ask what spades Mextrop had. So that's very, very acceptable.
Yeah, it's difficult, but I mean, it is a pretty good Grand Slam, isn't it? Looking at the East-West cards. It is. So I don't think it's a triumph when you get to 6 spades, David.
Right. Well, I've been branded for saying that any expert would bid 4 diamonds and that bidding anything else was absurd.
Cheeky monkey. Let's see. Right. Let's move on. It's a pretty normal 4-heart contract. Nothing to write home about here. I don't think. I'll leave you for a couple of minutes, David. I'll be right back.
Right, well, obviously correct to raise the spades. I've mentioned several times, even just during this event, that I read a lot of ancient bridge magazines. And going back 50 years, it's just incredible that particularly in the US, they would say, oh no, two spades is free bid now, you don't have to bid because partner's still there. So you need about a 9 count to raise the spades. Well, that's what we were discussing early on. They just had a lot of completely misconceived ideas. Not surprising when the game was in its relative infancy. Now we know that you must raise partner when you've got a fit. And lots of bidding changes really where people just put 4 or 5 different bids to indicate what sort of raise they've got, so that at the bottom end they can raise either on very minimum hands or on sub-minimum hands, good trump support where they will preempt the opponents. So when you say partner's still there, you're forgetting that the next hand may bid. And it would be much easier then if your partner knew that you had a raise to 2 spades, because if he's got anything extra, he would know to go for whether to go to game or not. He might know that it was a good idea to sacrifice. It's just obviously right to bid at the beginning when you've got very little, show what you've got and then shut up, rather than pass and say, oh, partner's still there, he can bid, and then be left dangling in mid-air trying to guess what to do because you haven't yet said your piece. Right, so the percentage play in hearts is to lay down the ace because that wins against single king either side. If you knew that North had won no trump or something, you might possibly lead the queen to catch his king if he was marked with it, and hope to pin the jack offside. And with the king of hearts falling, it's all extremely comfortable. And he's got a possible safety play against king jack X now. If you can afford to lose one trump trick, you may shoot. Yeah, that's what he's done. He's guaranteed the loss of only one trump loser, expecting to lose the sale up and to be able to his diamonds, so that was the safety play. That's why when you see this combination in a book and it says what's the safe way to play the hearts, you have to say what's the whole hand, because if you had 3 other losers, if you've only got 2, you've got to look for a safety play against losing 2 trump tricks, which you might do off side with king 1.
On board 10, where they got to 4 diamonds, our table, Lindqvist and Brogelon got to 3 diamonds. Brogelon also chose to double 1 heart. He bid 2 diamonds, Sus bid 2 hearts. And Brogelon, now that back to Lindqvist, who now bid 2 spades on Queen Jack X. And Brogelon corrected to 3 diamonds, down 1, but a 3 in game.
Yep, that's all very reasonable.
Two diamonds, it's a multi, weak 2 in a major, 2 hearts pass are correct, and now it's Maxtor's turn. We're pretty nice 22 count, all 4 aces, strong 5 card suit.
Yeah, that's a good practical bid.
It is, and as the cards lie, they did well not to get to slam, because clubs are not friendly. It's not a bad slam. It's not a great slam, but it's not a bad slam.
No. Well, that's true actually. I suppose he might have doubled first. If you double first and you're playing Lebenssoul responses, you know that if partner bids say 3 clubs, that he's got some values, maybe around 8 to 10, and he'll just bid a -2 no trumps if he's got less, and that means that, well, if you heard of 8 to 10, then you might start looking. Yeah, I think perhaps 3 no trumps was a little bit risky.
Yeah, it was premature, wasn't it? Could you start with double?
Start with a double first, yeah. Particularly if you double and partner with spades. Well, still got 4 losers, haven't you? So you might say nothing's lost, you can bid 3 no trumps next time.
Maria Versace bidding the Grand Slam hand now. I'm talking about what, board 12, of course. They had the same auction to 3 spades. Then, after some consideration, Lauria in the E-seat bid 5 no trumps. And now Versace as West is thinking.
Sounds like it's pick a slam. When you should make trump, you bid 5 no trumps, pick a slam. Very useful bid indeed. It used to be to ask for 2 of the top 3 honours, but now that's covered by Roman key card. 5 no trumps is freed up, and maybe I haven't seen the full auction. That may be a pretty good solution to asking partner whether to play in spades or hearts. If he had the jack of spades, he would choose spades even though he had a doubles and hearts sport. Otherwise, maybe go for the hearts.
The auction is over now. Versace chose 6 spades, and Lauria bid 6 no trumps. All pass.
So that's okay. It's a little bit annoying, whichever side you're supporting, if it's an absolutely borderline slam, and it's just a question of luck whether you bid or not, and lose 13 or lose 13. Been struggling away for hours and days, and then 26 cents are just flying around according to luck.
But we have to accept, David, that not all experts would bid 4 diamonds over 3 spades, because Lauria didn't. And I'm sure you regard him as an expert player.
I sure do, I sure do. Well, it's not the first time, and I'm sure it's not the last, that I might be accused of exaggeration in a comment.
There has been a director call, I'm told, after the no trump bid, because it took Versace so long to bid 6 spades. What is the problem really? I mean, they can make a grand slam, so well, that's fair enough.
Yeah, well, it is. I think there's been a huge improvement in ethics, really, at the top level. In particular, I think it's probably because of changes that the directors have made about what happens when you do call the director. But I mean, I got the impression in some tournaments you read about in magazines that people keep on and on and on calling the director, thinking, well, I can't lose anything, and occasionally I'll strike lucky. Maybe even if you happen to get some less able director to the table, something like that. It's not really the way to try and win bridge matches. So I think, as far as I can judge from a distance, all seems to be well in that respect in our great game at the top.
This should end the auction. This is typically a doubleton spade, with 3 East would have raised spades. Has nice playing strength, but I don't think he's worth 3 hearts. Non-vulnerable at imps. I wouldn't. I would just pass 2 spades.
Yeah, exactly. It would be a clear-cut mistake to bid hearts, really, because your hand is just not strong enough. Anything partner's got in diamonds will be wasted. And he's given preference to a doubleton spade, so you're just gambling that he may happen to have 3. If he's got 3, he's got an option to pass 2 hearts if he wants.
But if a raise to 2 spades is considered to go through 1-note trumpist, if that is forcing playing a 201 system, and then give preference to spades, that's either doubleton or 3 with a very weak hand.
Yes, and if he's very weak, then you obviously don't want to bid again. That's a good method. But I think you can only play that if 1-note trump is forcing. Isn't that right?
Yes.
Poles don't play it forcing, do they?
I don't think they do. That's right. If you don't play 1-note trump as forcing, you can't do it. Then you have 2 ways of raising spades directly. 2 spades as the weak raise, and 2 hearts as the strong raise. Many play that.
What fraction of the general populace in North America would play 1-note trump forcing nowadays? What's your guess? I've got no idea.
You mean how many play 201 compared with the standard? I don't know.
Well, not necessarily, because even if they play 2/1, some of them play semi-forcing 1-note trump.
We need Al to tell us if he has any idea. I still think standard is the most popular natural system in America, and that the 1-note trump is non-forcing. But I also think that 201 is much better. I even teach beginners 201 right away. I don't want to teach them standard first and then switch to 201. Why not teach them 201 from the start? That I do.
It's a good system. I think it's true to say that it's not so easy to play as some people think. and because all the bids are swing, I mean, both players may have difficulty in showing their extra strength unless they've got it well discussed what bids, what moves on the way up to the game level do show or deny extra strength. Right, well there you see Al Holland saying vast majority play one of the major one-no trump as a steady force. So it's not forcing, but the opener's only allowed to pass if he's got something close to a weak no trump.
Yeah, a weak no trump even. 12 or 13 bad. You're not allowed to pass what could have been taken out. You know, because one no trump is 5 to 11.
Yes, pretty huge range. Still, people are opening more and more 10 counts and the occasional 9 counts with the one bid, so 11 is not such a treasure chest as it used to be in the opposite hand. Not been a particularly gripping set of boards, but when you're watching a semi-final of a championship which is not far off the quality of the Bermuda Bowl, very high standard indeed, and it's still marvellous to be watching these players at work. Seems that West has a pretty good opening bid, although he's got no points in his longest suit. Got a few middle cards. If you just sort of half close your eyes and peer through, it still looks like an opening bid.
Yep. North-South may get to 4 hearts. If they do, they will make it. Aha, so Lindquist bid 4 diamonds. And Brogeland 4 hearts. I see the possible Grand Slam. Now 4 hearts is very, very dangerous because that may persuade the Lindquist to bid 7 hearts rather than 7 spades or 7 no trumps if they get to a Grand Slam.
Well, I think Brogeland is going to say that he bid his spades 3 times and he probably is only too low for that bid.
You mean if he had Jack X, he would have bid 3 hearts rather than 3 spades?
Well, I mean, he doesn't know exactly what card's going to be useful. What I mean is that he can't rely on having the Jack there for.
So they are Laurie Versace territory now. Lindquist jumped to 5 no trumps, pick a slam, and the contract is 6 spades.
Right, well I think that's a pretty excellent bidding at both tables. It's a tricky hand, and we're just sitting here looking at Jack to 3 spades in the north hand and working out whether 7 no trumps is a good contract or something. And it's not so easy for them. Even 7 no trumps is a little bit, well, it's probably okay, but if they share it in 6, that's fair enough.
It's better than okay, David. If 7 hearts is 68%, then 7 no trumps must be better.
Yes, if you know all the cards. But I mean, at our table, they didn't even know about the king of diamonds, let alone the jack. Unless you suggested that some people play that the pass shows the king.
I don't agree with David Edwin here. He won't cash the ace of hearts. Why? He does have 2 entries. Ace of spades is an entry and the 3rd heart is an entry. So why cash the ace of hearts? Why not cross and spades, take the half finesse? If hearts are 2-1, you have the 3rd trump an entry to lead the club up. So 20-20 hand. Won't get high here. North won't open his balanced 11 count. East will open a heart. So a heart and no trump, 2 clubs. All pass.
See anyone sitting down at the start of this match and thinking how wonderful the pairs were for Mahaffey, and indeed they are 2 of the incredibly strong pairs in the world. They've gained 4 inch so far, and doesn't that show you that there are a lot of other good players around the world, and these opponents are world class and going to be very difficult to beat. This sort of auction is often said to call for a lead, and Sandra Landy once said if the auction calls for a trump lead, don't be put off because you've got unattractive holding in the suit. Well, there's unattractive lowercase and unattractive uppercase such as King 1.
She even wrote that, David. I mean,
Sorry?
if the auction, she wrote that.
It was the bold bridge bit.
Exactly.
Yeah,
the boss Sandra Landy wrote. Now, if the auction calls for a trump lead 1, even from King X, she wrote.
Even from King X, yeah. Well, What do you lead low or the king?
She didn't write that. You may blow a trick, she wrote, but it will come back with interest.
Well, here Zia knows that the hearts are breaking, but in a very friendly fashion. And Declarer will be able to get at least one heart rough away, so I dare
Well,
say
he knows now, but he didn't know when he was on lead. I mean, dummy could have a singleton heart.
yes. Anyway, which club would you have led, Roland?
The 4. And I may still score my king, you know.
Well, that much is true. It's not clear when they're in a 4 forfeit what then a trump lead will be. And either they'll get the hearts going and discard losers in spades or diamonds, so I wouldn't have led a trump myself.
No, but like this scenario, it is that they has a singleton heart and 3 trumps.
Yes. Well, that is the common case when if the bidding goes something like heart of spade 2 clubs, yeah. It's just that it's possible, yeah. Except that he didn't bid a spade, he bid a no. It's not so likely. He's only got 4 cards in the partner's suit.
That's true. But after 1 heart, as you said, 1 heart, 1 spade, 2 clubs pass, then it is quite likely.
Well, that's one of only 2 situations where the textbooks recommend a trump lead. Of course, there is a third situation, which is by far the most common, where you lead a trump because you don't like the look of the side suit leads that are open to you. So you lead it for passive reasons. Not so often, apart from the very situation we've been discussing, that you lead it to cut down roughs. So that's 3 common situations. The 4th most common situation is that few graph commentators can see a trump lead will work well, and then they use the phrase the obvious trump lead. And I may be wrong, but I can't really remember ever seeing a hand on BBO where there was an obvious trump lead and the defender actually led trump.
Well, there's one more situation, David, where they find the fit very late. Like 1 club, 1 diamond, 1 heart, 1 spade, 2 spades. 4 spades, something like that. And you pretty much know that they're going to take that tricks on crossed rough, don't you? And then maybe a trump is scored for.
Well, yeah, I mean, people say that, but usually I find if it's a 4-4 fit, you're not going to do anything constructive with a trump lead. Another situation is where you've had something like an unusual no trump bid and someone gives preference to one or other suit. Well, it's quite possible then that he's only going to have 3 trumps maybe at best, and will be short suit, so you tend to lead a trump because you know that Declarer's got a 2-suiter and will for sure be trying to rough the second half of it. So Roland and I have watched two sessions which turned out to be absolutely wonderful, and a couple a bit like this one where it's great to be watching the top stars in the world, but the boards are not that special. Doesn't matter, it's always entertaining. We're watching the semi-final of a really major championship, and I'd like to congratulate Pierre Zimmermann again on sponsoring it all, funding it all, and he created something really marvellous here. And all the world's top players, most of the world's top players have come along to enjoy it, and the organisation is splendid, and it's been great to watch. So it's a really commendable tournament in every way. So many thanks to him.
That was typical Sia. Trump was led. Tommy played low, and Sia played the king. He knew he would score the jack later. I mean, mere mortals would have inserted the jack of spades at trick one, but not Sia.
And mere mortals might have thought if got in they could play king and another trump. If they put the jacks there. Very, very bizarre play. But he's the main showman of our game, and that's why we've got nearly 2,000 kibitzers watching this table on a Thursday morning. Thanks for coming along.
Yeah. I haven't checked the other tables, but I think that we have plenty more at our table, and similar a bit after the lunch break. What do you think?
Yes, absolutely. We've got 2,500 and they've got 1,000 in the Zimmermann game.
Ah, yeah. And they even have the two strongest pairs playing now, isn't that right? Vytas and Helnes Helgemo. Yeah, Milton Zimmermann sitting out.
Yeah, Zimmermann leads 45-18.
Two clubs is the Drury convention, 9 to 11 roughly, with spade support.
When Zia says people go crazy, does he mean himself when he plays the king of spades? One might ask.
Asked, do you prefer Drury or reverse Drury? I prefer reverse Drury. And I think when people say Drury nowadays, they really mean reverse Drury, because I think almost everyone plays reverse Drury. So that back to trumps is the weakest possible.
So that's the reverse form of it. Is everything so sensible, as you say?
Mm.
It's surprising it was in the other way around. Because
It used
normally
to
when
be.
armor forces to a certain level in your suit, you go straight there. Yeah, I remember 2 diamonds was the weak response. I suppose they laced the partner still to make another try, but I mean that shouldn't be possible on a passed hand, particularly nowadays.
Yeah, I believe that Doug Drury actually invented the convention in a restaurant in Massachusetts on a napkin. He was helped with his partner's satellite openings in the third seat, David. So he invented the convention on a napkin.
Well, I'm not sure, but I rather think I saw that napkin on eBay the other day. I'll have to check. So here 2 clubs was obviously not gain forcing as is a passed hand, and a lot of players say that if they bid something like 2 clubs, they're going to promise. Oh, well, see, no, we're saying it's true. Yeah, but even if you bid something like 2 diamonds, some people say that should be a diamond suit and cards spade support. That's what Mark Smith had told me. Mind you, he plays 4-card majors. Because they open light on all sorts of hands, so in general you're only worth a 1 no trump response, and unless you do have 3-card support for partner.
Yeah. To make it simple, Drury convention is that you open, say, 1 spade in the third seat, telling partner, I have an opener, partner, and 2 clubs asking, are you sure you have an opener? 2 spades, no, I'm not.
Only applies in the third seat because you're not likely to be, well, I suppose it can apply in the fourth seat. You may not want to pass it out. You may open some 11 count, and partner doesn't want to have to carry you up to the 3 level to find out that you've got a grotty hand. Yeah, so opposite third or fourth seat, but in particular players open light in the third seat to not give an easy ride. And when Drury was first invented, the English Bridge Union banned it. They thought it was being used for fielding sykes in third seat. People were opening on eight counts in the third seat. Palm had a 10 count support and was just bidding 2 clubs and stopping in 2 spades, so they couldn't go so far as to ban sykes, much as they would like to do it, because it upset people in clubs around the country. What they did do is say they would ban fielding sykes, having bids which were able to detect in time if you were syking.
Yeah, it reminds me of a story. A pair in my club, when I had Bridge Club for 21 years, they played Gerber and Blackwood on the same auction, 4 clubs asking for aces, and after the response, they played 4 no clubs. As, are you sure you have the number of aces you showed me?
So was everyone at the club played that, Roland, or just one pair?
It's just 1 pair. That was funny.
Well, there are sort of funny characters around in the world of bridge. They usually tend to sit in the corner, I've noticed. Well, we can say I think Zia had the fourth spade. Stroth was just looking for it. Right,
Yep.
and so on to the final board of this first third of the semi-final. And my first job is to thank very much Gregoire Amal. Roland has said that the commentators on the top two tables have been exceptionally good, and the others have been pretty good as well. And we've all noticed Gregoire has given us a few tidbits about the conversations between the players, which add to our enjoyment and help to remind us that we're not watching computers playing against each other. They're somewhere deep in the heart of Monaco. There's some humans holding cards in hands, and BBO even provides a link to a video for us to watch that. So many thanks to Gregoire once again. Many thanks to these players for entertaining us so well. We've quite often thanked the great dealer for his wonderful selection of hands, but I'm going to keep him on his toes by not thanking him for this particular session. There's been a fairly average effort on his behalf. Many thanks to Roland Valt, who is doing a sterling amount of commentating here, 3 a day. Wow, that would knock me out. I just do 2 a day. And to you all for turning up. Thanks to Pierre Zimmerman again for creating this tournament and sponsoring and funding it. And thanks of course to BBO for allowing us to watch not only this tournament but hundreds of others free of charge. So over to Roland for this hand, which looks exciting.
Very exciting. A no-play slam. Very exciting indeed, David. What is Tus thinking about? Isn't he happy?
I think he was having a mighty tussle with his right hand that kept on reaching towards the red card. Eventually he managed to pull it back.
Right, 11 imps to Mahaffey now. When the pair from Lithuania bit to a slam on board 14, where clubs didn't behave. You remember that hand. Went down in 6 spades.
Yep. Well, certainly wasn't a poor slam. It was probably marginally against the odds, but just imagine if that had made, that would have been another 20 imps.
Yes, but they may lose all of them here, David. I mean, you don't have to jump to 6 hearts, but I confess that it is tough here over 4 diamonds. I mean, what should he have bid instead of 6 hearts? He has no room to investigate. On the other hand, I mean, Pada doesn't need much for a negative double at the 1 level. So you need partner with the King of Hearts for a start. He has a diamond loser, most likely, right? So diamond loser, so everything else must be high. so he needs to part with the king of hearts, and
yeah,
also the king
I
of
mean, some
spades.
people might think he bid hearts, but it's sort of universally played that if you bid 5 hearts, sorry, 5 hearts would ask for a diamond control. So he's not got any clear-cut slam try. He could just bid 5 diamonds, but again, partner might read that as saying being asked to choose which major should be made trumps. Possibly, I don't know.
Yeah, it was tough. Yeah, it is tough.
Yeah.
Now, David, do you fancy going to the other room? They're on board for 15 there. Or do you want your break, your lunch break?
I'll just flip a coin. It's come down heads. What does that mean? We go to the other room?
We do.
Yeah, squad. Let's go mad.
Let's go, Matt.
See you there.
See you there.